What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Big Honker Podcast. We just had a birthday. We appreciate everybody that's tuned in over the last couple of years, and we look forward to bringing you more and more entertainment as we continue to grow. This podcast is brought to you by the boys up in the Pacific Northwest, Pacific Calls. Whatever you're looking for, they have a call for you, and we have a promo code. You can use the promo code BHP25, and you can save 25% off of your entire shopping cart at checkout. If you're looking for a duck call, goose call, turkey season's going on right now. They have amazing turkey calls. 25% off. Use our promo code BHP25. Go to Pacific Custom Calls today. Get whatever you need. Shipped straight to your door. Great guys. Proud to be associated with them. Next, we are brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee.
If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck.
Warmer months are here, and their cold brew coffee is easier than ever before. It comes in a can now, so you don't have to go brew a whole batch of cold brew coffee if you don't want to. They still got that option if you do, but it comes in a nice little can now. So head over to dirtyduckcoffee.com. You get your coffee shipped straight to your door. No matter what kind of coffee guy you are or gal, they have a blend for you. My favorite right now is the Suns Up Guns Up and the highly caffeinated one.
The high velocity?
High velocity. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. And then as we get into summer, I'll be switching over to the cold brew. So check them out, dirtyduckcoffee.com. If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck. Up next, we are brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. Listen, get your shells shipped to you soon. The shortage is going to be real. Everybody's been screaming from the mountaintops that this is going to happen. Get your shells shipped to you. You're going to need to be ahead of the curve here.
New products coming out. We got dove load. Going to be some different type of waterfowl loads coming out. So stay tuned. Check them out. Go to bosshotshells.com.
Next, we're brought to you by Dive Bomb Industry. Whatever you're hunting, they have something for you. They have put silhouettes back on the market. They're what we use out here every single day. Their products hold up. You got to get the bags, though. Helps you stay organized. I am a organization freak when it comes to my trailer. So if you're going to buy decoys, you need to buy the bags. It's non-negotiable. Stay organized. They've also got floaters. They got a floater line out. Got most of the ducks that you be going after. Kind of a one-stop shop, boys and girls. Head over to divebombindustries.com today, and they still have their end-of-the-season closeout sale going on. You can shop and save right now at divebombindustries.com. Up next, we are brought to you by the boys in Missouri, Logan and Rebel, with the Looking Glass Podcast. Great guys. They're hilarious. Head over to their Patreon account right now. Get subscribed to it, and then you'll have access to their entire library. Got a nice bourbon review going on, so if you're a bourbon drinker, they got something for everybody, and they're great for long road trips.
Good guys, great stories. Just don't listen to them when your kids are in the car.
That is right. Head over to their Patreon, the Looking Glass Podcast. You're welcome. Up next, we are brought to you by Mossberg. This organization goes above and beyond every single year that we have our Gold Star hunt. They take care of our kiddos that we have coming out here, providing them with shotguns, and we cannot thank them enough. They're a great organization and a great company to be with.
Go spend some money with Mossberg. They spend a lot of money and take care of our kids. Well worth it. Go check them out at mossberg.com.
Check out that 940 waterfowl gun. It's got Maddie Robertson's stamp of approval. By God, it can have yours. mossberg.com. Up next, we are brought to you by Lucky Duck. They are the leader in spinning wing decoys. Dove season is closer than you think, and the dove actually like the spinners. So set them out there. They'll decoy just like the ducks.
If you've never dove hunted over decoys, you don't know what you're missing out on.
Yep.
I mean, it's just like shooting teal.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of fun. They'll land right in them and stuff. You can get a group of guys set together. Instead of being spread out, you can sit together, put out a bunch of decoys, put them wings going, get them spinners going, and you're shooting birds just like you would duck hunting. But you ain't got to be serious about it. You can visit, enjoy time. It's a social deal. Check them out at luckyduck.com.
They also have 5-star crash test rated kennels. So put your four-legged hunting buddy in one of those and feel safe on those long road trips. Great people, luckyduck.com. Next, we're brought to you by Mallard Bay. If you have a fishing trip this summer or a hunting trip this fall coming up, it is easier than ever before to book your next outdoor adventure. Head over to mallardbay.com It's simple. Type in where you're wanting to go, what you're wanting to do, and all the results will pop up right there, and then you can go from there. Takes the guesswork out of booking your next outdoor adventure. MallardBay.com. It's easier now than ever before. Check them out. Next, we're brought to you by Mitch Hall Chevrolet.
The only place I shop, just was in the shop the other day, got Michelle's Tahoe service. They take care of you. Great customer service. They got a full line of vehicles right there. They got some brand new Tahoes. We'll be doing closeout sales here pretty quick because the 2026 vehicles, matter of fact, will be out in about 3 months. Hard to believe, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. You probably, it's Christmas. It's Christmas in the spring with tax refund season. So spend your tax refund on a new vehicle. Nice down payment.
For well-qualified buyers, which means people that got good credit,
me,
0% for 60 months.
Hell yeah. Mitch Hall, Haskell.com. Give them a call, 940-355-0460. Do a little bit of price shopping. Have some fun. Up next, we're brought to you by Shin Gear. These people do not miss. Whatever they put out is the tits. I wear their bibs every single day that I'm out in the field. They keep me warm. They keep me dry. They keep the wind off of me. Everything they have is phenomenal. I'm decked out head to toe in Shin Gear. The boots are amazing. Jackets are great. Everything they have, it's fantastic. Shingear.com, whatever you're looking for. If you're looking for like a base layer or something like that, they've got it. The bibs are great. The jackets are great. It's all phenomenal.
I live in the Scout boots in the wintertime. From September through February, I've just now went back to Columbia shoes, but I've been wearing shin boots. From September on, I wear the vest. Anytime it's cold, I've got a vest on. I've got the heavy jacket that I wear when it's really, really cold. Great products, good people. Go to shingear.com.
And they will always take care of you. They have a guarantee that they will stand behind their product for as long as you stand in them. So if you ever have a problem with anything Shin Gear, you send it back to them, and they get it right back out to you in a timely manner. Customer service. They take care of you, so take care of them. Shingear.com. Up next, we're brought to you by Ducks Unlimited. For 85 years, no organization has done more than Ducks Unlimited. They are the leader in wetland conservation. Ducks Unlimited conserves, restores, and manages wetlands and associated habitat for North America's waterfowl. We would not have ducks if it were not for great organizations like Ducks Unlimited. Find a chapter, join a chapter, start a chapter, whatever you got to do, get involved with Ducks Unlimited because they put ducks back into the sky.
In these drought years when the wetlands are down, if it wasn't for Ducks Unlimited, we really wouldn't have any ducks. So become a proud member of Ducks Unlimited, support them. Go to the Ducks. We'll have the Ducks Expo in Memphis, Tennessee in August. Come by and see us. We will be there. We will have a booth set up for Stanfield Hunting and the Big Honker podcast, and we will be there with Boss Shot Shells.
Ducks.org. Last but not least, Stanfield Outfitters, StanfieldHunting.com. What are you selling today, Jeff?
I've got one spot left for 6 guys on the dove hunt, the Boss Dove Hunt, which is September 17 through 20. I don't have my calendar with me right now. It's a Monday through Thursday. I think it's September 17th through 20, maybe. Does that sound right? And then I have a couple spots left on the Boss Goose Hunt, which is November, about the same time. I've got 2 different hunts, 3-day hunt. The goose hunt's 3 days. Come in on Sunday night, leave on Wednesday. The dove hunt start on Monday afternoon, leave on Thursday morning. Anyways, holler at us at 940-658-3172. I've got 2 deer hunts left for the year, and I've got I've got some goose dates still left in November. I got goose hunt dates in November, December, January. Not a lot, but we still do have some goose dates. But I've got 2 deer hunts left also. Anyways, 940-658-3172. Thank you very much. Appreciate you listening to us.
Thank you for being a part of this journey. We love you. Bye. Watch for deer.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker podcast brought to you by Shin Gear. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
They don't miss. They never miss. Got a It's wintertime here again.
It was cold as hell.
35 degrees out there. So
But
Yep, here too.
Yeah, right.
with us,
It was 85 last week and like 38 today.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I don't-
crazy.
She's on
With us today,
menopause.
from the great city of Nashville, Tennessee, where dreams are made and a lot of hearts are broken, Mr. Michael Hendershot. Mike, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm not doing too bad today, bro.
You live in
Hanging in.
you live in a cool place. Do you go to Broadway much, or do you stay the hell away from there since you're a local?
Man, it seems like I have family in town every other week, and that's where they want to go. So,
That's one of the cool,
but as a local, we try to avoid it, definitely.
one of the coolest cities and one of the coolest streets in America, I think. Really cool place. So, anyways, you have a hell of a story. You told me part of it the other day. So let's dive right into it, and let's start with your story.
All right. I own a asphalt ceiling striping, paving, patching company, and we specialize in apartment complexes and stuff like that. So I basically, I got a 24-foot equipment trailer. I just took it in, had all my equipment serviced. We're about to start the first job of the year. So Friday, late afternoon, I bring my trailer over, back it into a very, very safe spot, I thought. Put my big trailer lock on it, made sure all my doors are locked, dropped the trailer and left. I come back Sunday morning and I pull into the job to go lay out cones to get ready for the job to start. And I look over and I'm like, either I'm at the wrong place or my trailer's gone.
Oh shit!
And I was like, holy shit. I mean, this is a fully logoed. I mean, it's completely wrapped. My phone number's in like 3 or 4 foot letters, in bright red on black. And I was like, there's no way someone stole that. So I went over there and I looked around. I found my trailer lock still in one piece. They used some kind of master key or some way that got my lock off.
Right.
They're pretty good. And so at this point, I thought, well, first I better check with the apartment and make sure that they didn't accidentally tow my trailer out of there. So I called them and they said no, and they looked at the cameras and they said, oh man, they stole it last night at 4:45 a.m. And so I called the police, and I sat there for 4 hours and 20 minutes before a Metro officer actually showed up. And when they did come, they basically, I'm just dumbfounded by it because she didn't take the videos. She didn't take the pictures. She didn't, I even asked her, I said, hey, that's my trailer lock laying there. Do you at least want to take that for some kind of evidence? And they basically wrote me out a receipt and said, give this to your insurance. And I just wasn't having that. I contacted our local news here, News Channel 5, and I sent them the videos of the trailer being stolen, which were crystal clear videos. It was a gold GMC Arcadia and another little follow car. And so they ran it in their little news segments and stuff like that. And they showed it. And the next morning I got a call from a school bus driver at 8 a.m. and said, hey, your trailer's sitting right over here, right out in the open. They said, you can't miss it. And I'm like, oh shit. So I jumped up, ran out the door, headed over there. And right there, my trailer was sitting right up on the hill, right off the main road. I call the police, say, hey, found my trailer. Wait 4 hours and 45 minutes before a cop shows up because they told me if I took my trailer, I could be arrested.
Oh
because
my god!
The trailer's stolen property. So they said, you can't hook up to it. You got to wait till an officer comes in and releases it. And I said, can I look in it? And they said, yeah, you can look in it. So I opened it up and all my equipment was gone. $80,000 worth of equipment, just an empty trailer sitting there. So now the cop shows back up after waiting there all day. And I've been sitting there. And the crazy part is I watched 12 Metro police officers drive by that trailer and it's still stolen. It hasn't been cleared yet. So 12 police officers drove by it and never even noticed it. And it's sitting right off the main road.
Wow.
So I was just like, this is crazy. So the cop comes, looks at it, does the same thing. Okay, here's another paper, give your insurance. And I was like, are you going to take fingerprints or even some pictures of it or anything? And she's like, nah, detective will call you in a week or two. And I was like, this is just insane. So I called the news again and I told them I got my trailer back, but no equipment. So they ran it again and on the news. And the next day they said they were going to come and do an interview with you at that same spot. So they did a whole segment about the trailer getting stolen and all this stuff. And I looked down and I told the cops the day before, I said, look at all these businesses right next to where they turned in. They all have cameras. I said, are you going to at least go ask them for the camera footage? And they said, nah, detective will do that later on. So I just went down and I knocked on the doors and I asked them, I said, hey, did you happen to see this trailer get dropped off? And they looked and they're like, well, we can't give you the video, but we'll tell you. Yes, it was dropped off at 5:45 a.m. Sunday morning. And it was stolen at 5:15 Sunday morning. So I was thinking to myself, okay, it was 4 miles away where they stole it from to where they dropped it. And they emptied it, which I know it takes probably 20 minutes if you're good to empty that trailer.
Right.
And they had to get the locks off it. So I thought, boy, that my equipment's around here somewhere. So I said, I'm just going to drive around this area. It's a bad area. I mean, it's all really Hispanic. Nobody speaks English. Lots of stolen shit everywhere all the time in that area. So I'm driving around and a buddy of mine calls me who's a surveyor, and he goes, Mike, I know one of the worst possible places in this whole area, and it's a block from where your trailer was. He said, but don't drive back there by yourself. Come with me. We'll drive back in my surveyor truck. They won't notice us in that because it's a fentanyl house and they have a lot of stolen stuff. So so we drove back there and boom, right there was the gold Arcadia and the metallic blue Malibu with missing fender. Those were the two on the video. And I was like, holy shit, those are the two vehicles. And there's a tarp in the back covering up stuff that looked like my equipment. I could see a tire. I said, holy shit, that's my equipment back there. So we slid back out of there and went up the street. It's one way in, one way out. So I called the cops again, tell them, hey, the guys that been stealing all these trailers are back there, and I know my equipment's back there. So I wait 2.5 hours for the cops to come. So I got 4 cops sitting there waiting on the detective, and they're going to raid the place. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden gunshots go off at that place. Just like 6 gunshots. Boom, 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 boom. So the cop's like, well, we can't wait for the detective. We got to go in now. So they take off down there. They run down to that place. Everyone scatters. They arrest nobody. And they call me up, and they're like, come on back and get your equipment. Come back and look at it. And I lifted a tarp up, and 3 of my pieces of equipment were there. And I said, are you not arresting anyone? They said, we knocked on the door, but nobody answered. They all ran in the house. And I'm like, so you've got gunshots, you've got stolen equipment out here, and in that same property was 3 other trailers that they knew were stolen. And I'm like, and you're not even going to go in the house or nothing? And they're like, nah, just hurry up and get a trailer back here and get your stuff. So I'm like, okay. So I run back and get my trailer, load my equipment up. And earlier that day when that car pulled out, the guy in the Arcadia got away right before the cops got there. Well, when he's at the stop sign, I ran up and took a picture of him and of his license plate while he was at the stoplight while I was waiting on the cops to ever get there. So I went on social media that night and I blasted it everywhere, his license plate and his vehicle. And it's about 5 o'clock and I'm sitting at home. I just got home and I get a message on Facebook going, hey, the guy you're looking for is my neighbor and he steals trailers all the time. And I've turned him into the cops and they don't do anything. And I was like, is he home right now? And they said, yeah, he's here painting the trailer. And I said, are you shitting me? And while I'm talking to him, my phone beeps in. And I click over and a guy goes, hey, man, I saw your post about your trailer getting stolen. Mine was stolen at 3 a.m. And so they had stole 2 that night. And he goes, yeah, that same Arcadia, we got him on camera. And I said, what color was your trailer? And he said, well, it's white with a big red X on it. And I clicked back over to the other guy. I said, what's that trailer out there? And he goes, well, it was white, had a big X on it, but they're painting it black. So I tell the guy, I'm like, dude, your trailer's painted right now in Antioch. And it's nighttime now in Antioch. And I don't know if you're familiar with Nashville, but Antioch is not where you want to go at night. And he goes, let's get over there. So we said, all right, fuck it. We'll head over there. And I said, you call the cops on the way and I'll call the cops. And you never know, maybe they'll show up. So we pull into this guy, and the guy that turned him in said, hey, you guys can come and hide in my house and watch them because we can see them out there working on the trailer. And he's got an AR-15 by the door, and the other guy's got his pistol. And we're like, you know, if they try to leave with the trailer, we're going to citizens arrest their ass at best. So we're sitting there waiting about 2.5 hours for the cops to get there. Now it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, really dark, and another truck pulls up 3 Mexicans get out of that truck, and the other one's got the back door of that trailer open. They're in there taking shit off the walls and taking shit out of that trailer. And we're like, fuck it, let's go down there and get our shit. And right as we're about to do that, the cops whip in. They pull into the yard and they walk right up to the trailer, and they're all inside the trailer taking the shit off the walls. So needless to say, the Arcadia's there. The other guys, they arrest 3 of them, take them to jail. They're in there on $126,000 bond because they got multiple. They connected in like 6 different cases so far. So the guy that's with me gets his trailer back. They got a big thing built out back that's supposed to have stolen stuff in it. I asked the police, I'm like, well, can we go see if my equipment's in there? And they're like, no, we need a search warrant for that, and we'll have to wait for a detective. Will come back in a day or 2. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So next day or so, I get a call from the detective, and he's like, Mike, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure your stuff has been sold already, so you might as well just go buy some new stuff. So I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's like $40,000 worth of stuff. So I was sitting at the gym, and I was about to go down and spend $40,000 on this equipment. And I said, man, I'm driving back over to that first place. My shit's got to be there. There's no way they got rid of it that fast. And the adrenaline was kicking, and I pulled into that yard, and there were 6 Mexicans out there tearing apart this vehicle. And I said, which one of you motherfuckers speak English? And they all did that. They all did that. Man, no English, no hable, blah, blah, blah. I said, one of you motherfuckers better get over here and speak English. There's a little crack whore that was sitting over there, and I called her over, and I said, you speak English, obviously, right? And she's like, yeah. I said, you need to get these guys over here. Someone's got to talk to me because shit's about to go down. They said, oh, really? So then one comes over, and I said, here's the deal, dude. I said, there's a drone above us right now. I said, you can't see it, but there's a drone above us. He's watching me. I said, Metro, I said, you guys stole from the wrong guy. I kind of lied a little bit. I was like, you don't know who I am, but my relatives in the police department aren't happy about you stealing my trailer. And I said, you're going to get raided every week. I said, Codes is going to come in, shut this place down. I said, man, you're going to get busted for everything. I said, we're running all these trailers. I said, you're under surveillance right now. I said, you're being watched every minute. But I said, I'm going to make you a one-time offer. I said, you give me I said, you know what equipment I'm missing, right? And he's like, yeah. I said, I'm giving you one fucking chance here. I said, 1 hour, my equipment sits out here. If not, we're going to rain hell on this place. And he goes, you come back in an hour, sir. I'll have your equipment out here. And so I was like, I didn't even call the police this time. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So I went home, got my trailer, and I pulled back up there and pulled in, and there was all my equipment lined up. And I just backed in, loaded it all up, and this little Mexican comes out, and he's like, man, I'm sorry about all this, sir. I got information on more trailers that are stolen if you want it.
Oh, my God.
So I'm recording this whole thing. So this is all on video. And he's out there going, yeah, the guy that sold those trailers, he's got a bunch more trailers and stuff. And I'll give you all the information if you want. And I'm like, man, I just want to get the fuck out of here.
I want my shit. Like, I want to go.
Tell that to the detectives at another point. So the detective calls me back the next morning. He's like, Jesus, Mike, you've solved like 6 cases. You got all your equipment back. And we didn't do a damn thing. So I said, I know you didn't do a damn thing. That's why I had to do it all myself. But so it's been, I go to court on Wednesday as a witness to make sure this guy stays locked up. But more cases are coming in left and right. But the part that really pisses me off the most about all this is Metro says they go on a 3-tier level of stuff. And they said trailer theft and stuff like that's a tier 1. So basically they don't even follow up on it. And I'm like, I mean, why would people not steal a trailer? Why would they not steal a car? You guys are not following up on it. You're not even putting it out to the police to look for it.
It's free.
That's
free.
Insane.
It's free money for the criminals. So the Metro Police in Nashville didn't do anything to help you really on this thing.
Absolutely zero. And actually, they hindered it more than they helped it.
If you wouldn't have got it on social media, this would have never got solved.
Never. No. And they told me that. Even when they handed me my first thing, they said their thing basically every time is turn it into your insurance. Mm-hmm. But they don't realize your insurance don't pay you shit back. No. And if they do, your insurance goes up so high that they get their money back one way or the other. So
Yeah, that's the problem we have with all these. It's like the shoplifting shit at these big stores. Well, it don't matter. The people have insurance. Well, yeah, and that's why everybody's insurance goes up, and it costs us all more money. So
Right.
I knew some guys at the we go to Nashville every year to the turkey convention, and someone 2 years ago got their trailer stolen there with all their shit in it. And I'm sure it's probably the same ring of guys that are doing that. But so the guy that was stealing it was not the guy that was fencing it. I guess the guy you had was the fence guy, right?
No, I got them all. Well, I got the guy that's stealing it is in jail on a $126,000 bond. He's the ringleader, Jesus something or another. And then he'd go over to this fentanyl house. The detective told me it's a fentanyl house. And whenever he was going to steal the trailers, he'd grab someone over at that fentanyl house. You know, there's always a whole bunch of Mexicans hanging around there. And he'd have one follow him over there and help him back up the trailer and hook it up quick. Then they'd peel out. So they impounded a couple cars, took the cars and shit like that. But they only got 3 arrested out of the whole thing so far. But they're flipping on each other like crazy before the cops even talk to them. So we'll see.
What is?
But they said that they've been looking for him for over 2 months, and it took me 24 hours to
What is the how did they get the trailer lock off? Now, how did they do that? You said they didn't cut it.
The detective said that these guys nowadays have GPS scanners. You know, they can find the GPS, smash them out, and they said that they have little lock picks or universal keys that they get made to get in there and get these locks off real fast. Because I mean, they had that lock off in 5 seconds, and that thing was this big around solid steel, one of the round ones that goes up in it, and I got that thing back at not even a mark on it. So they used some kind of key to open it.
I recommend everybody get some Apple AirTags and put in their trailers. And hide.
So I just bought the best GPS that I could find online, so I can find that thing anywhere. But it's just a matter of I had a trailer stolen a few years ago, and I had GPS on it. And just to tell you how bad Metro is here, I followed my GPS to my trailer, and it was in a guy's yard here in Hermitage, just outside of Nashville. And my trailer sitting in his front yard. There's another trailer being painted, a U-Haul trailer that was stolen. The serial numbers are grinded off it. And Metro Police, I pull up and I said, "This is my trailer." And they said, "Okay." My logo, they'd spray painted over my logo and all that shit. And my GPS was laying out in the yard, smashed in pieces. But luckily I had it before they got it out. I tracked it. And Metro tells me, the detective comes over or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll release your trailer to you." And I said, "Are you not going to go to the door at least or anything?" And they're like, "We knocked on it. Nobody answered." They never once followed up again. And I never, ever heard from a detective again. I went by that guy's house with some friends of mine, and we had a talk with the guy about stealing trailers. And he won't do that anymore, but he moved out of that house about 2 weeks later because we were rolling by his house every week.
That pisses me off, though. That's why, I mean, we let them get by with so much stuff. People, it's all over the country. The stealing, these dope heads are stealing shit left and right. And you got to have everything locked down or tied down. Lockdown don't even do or tied down. And they steal your shit. And then when they get caught, they don't hardly have anything does anything to them. The big cities especially are so bad about that. The Apple AirTags work good, but someone's got to have an Apple phone bite to pick it up. But you can hide one. Everybody's got an Apple phone. You're going to have a hard time finding a group of guys that someone don't have an Apple phone in there. You just got to have you got to hide one of those AirTags in there. But somebody somewhere's buying a bunch of stolen trailers. They wouldn't keep stealing these freaking trailers.
Exactly. And the crazy part is there was 2 open trailers, the tilt trailers sitting there, and they said that they knew they were stolen, but they said people don't. It's gotten so bad now that when your trailer gets stolen like that, you don't even report it because no one wants to sit there and wait 4 hours for a cop to come and tell you that there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, I know the police officers, and I'm very pro police officer. They have a hard time because they're short staffed everywhere. Mm-hmm. But it's because society and the media has made everything anti-cop. Well, no wonder it's hard. Nobody wants to do that job no more because they don't have no backing from City Hall.
Yeah, this detective that was handling my case said he's one of 2. You know, Nashville. This guy was stealing. From what we're gathering, he's stealing about 4 trailers a weekend. So,
and there's 2 detectives in all of Nashville.
Yeah, and that's 2 detectives, and they're handling auto theft. So they're not just doing trailers. You know, they're doing auto theft, and all that shit. He said when they first called me, they said you're there's about 35 in front of you before a detective's going to call you. But if I wouldn't have got that on the news and the news picked it up, made such a big deal about it, and they're about to air a second follow up about this whole thing. And if the news went to took it, I would have never heard from a detective. No,
not at all.
It's funny because 30 minutes after it aired on the news, the detective called me. So, I got moved up the priority list apparently.
And like I said, I feel for them two detectives that are working, they got more detectives in Nashville, just them two, but these two are doing just auto theft. Those guys are working their ass off because they're short staffed. Because
it's frustrating though, because I solved this so easily. All I had to do was walk in and ask a couple different buildings. You just because everywhere there's a camera nowadays. I mean, if you steal something and if you really want to find them, every business and damn near every home has a camera. You can, if you put in that little bit of legwork and ask a couple people, you can find where they started and where they finished, and then narrow it down. That's what I did. But to not even bother to ask, to me it was just so. Just call your insurance. We ain't got time for this kind of shit. That really pissed me off because this is my livelihood.
Right.
When they took that trailer, that's 6 people that didn't get to work last week or this week because we didn't have equipment. That affects them eating. That affects their family. But the cops treat it like it's just a trailer gone.
It's a victimless crime, they think, is what they think. And they're like, well, their insurance will pay for it. We'll go down the road. We'll catch somebody else stealing some Lamborghinis or a Corvette or whatever it is. And I know they're underworked, but like you said, everybody, it surprises me how much people steal stuff knowing there's cameras. Mm-hmm. You can't like these people that steal things off these porch pirates or whatever, they steal shit. Yeah. Everybody's got a damn camera. It's hard to find a house that don't have a camera nowadays. Every business has a camera.
This son of a bitch has been stealing cars for trailers for 2 months, and he has used the same GMC Arcadia with his regular license plates on it. He ain't using fake license plate or pulling the tag off when he steals the shit. And the place where he stole my trailer from has cameras as you drive in aimed at you and cameras as you drive out aimed at you. And they pulled right up and there's a big camera right aimed where my trailer was that you could see. So they knew the cameras were there and they didn't even care because they've stolen so many on camera and not one person's ever, put their face out there.
Right. Had the balls to call them out on their shit.
Were you there when they arrested him?
Oh, that's man, the best part. I got the video of it. We come out when the cops come in and ran up on that trailer. We come running out the door. I mean, we saw when they pulled in. So I've got my phone out, and as soon as one was walking up, I said, "Hey, remember that paint trailer you stole? That was mine, fuck face." I said, "You fucked around and found out, didn't you?" And so then when the cops were arresting Jesus, I said, "Hey, don't forget me. That was my trailer you stole Sunday. I made sure this happened to you, fucker." And I just smiled and laughed at him the whole time. He just glared at me, and I was just like, "There you go." And I'll be in court on Wednesday, because that was the other thing the cop said is no one ever shows up to prosecute. But I'm gonna ride this right on out till I'm gonna pester the DA. They wanted to make a deal with them. It was funny because when they had half my equipment was still gone, they called and said, "Well, maybe we can make a deal with him if he gives up the rest of your equipment. We might be able to work a deal with that." Well, now I got my equipment back, so there ain't gonna be no deals.
So what's the DA prosecuting him on? Theft over so much money?
Theft over 60,000, theft under 120,000, and he's got so far 4 counts of that. So yeah, he's and they said that they were going to drop a few more warrants on him probably before tomorrow or before Wednesday. So
I'll bet you $1 right now he don't go to jail for more than 18 months.
I wouldn't take that because I don't even think him being, no English, no this. I bet you he's out. Probably. I bet you he doesn't do shit.
Was he a legal citizen? Do you know that? Or is he illegal?
I don't know yet.
If he's illegal, they're going to ship his ass off. He won't get out of jail.
I'm guessing he might be legal. He's got a house and a wife and shit here, but I guess I don't know much about all that. But
that don't mean nothing nowadays.
Yeah. We're all curious to see what they'll do. But like I said, I'm going to stay on the DA's ass. I'm going to make sure that the judge knows how bad it fucked up my work and how many people couldn't work and make money and the extent of this stuff that, I'm going to be a thorn in his ass, boy.
The sad thing is too, it's not only your livelihood, but they had a U-Haul trailer. They probably stole it with someone's everything that someone owned in it. And it's gone now. And then they lost all their shit. And until we start making criminals be held accountable and make jail the way jail should be, we're going to keep having to deal with this over and over and over again in our country. And hopefully,
and it's frustrating when when the cops that pulled up there said, "Oh, we're at this house every other week." Yeah. There's always something. There's a shooting there. There's this and that. It's a fentanyl house. Well, if they got stolen goods, it's a fentanyl house. They're shooting. And when I tell you this place, this is like it's not a duplex, but it's like a fourplex, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom or whatever. But the windows are boarded up with plywood. There's extension cords running out everywhere. There's an outhouse out back. I mean, they've got a makeshift burn pits all in the back. And when I tell you trash, they had shopping carts, about 30 shopping carts lined up out front, all with like metal and junk and trash. And I thought, I had codes come to my house because my pickup was parked in my driveway with my logo on it.
Right.
And I ended up in court because I was like, that's my truck and I own my own house. And you're telling me I can't park my truck in it. So I can't park my truck with a logo, but these guys got an outhouse, boarded up windows, and they're selling fentanyl and stolen goods. And you guys can't go over there.
Screwed up world we're living in right now for damn sure.
It is unbelievable.
Well,
yep.
Well, Mike, I
But I'll
appreciate
tell you one thing. They knew I wasn't fucking around when I rolled in there by myself. I was in my Hummer, and when I said, "Any of you motherfuckers speak English, you better get over here now." They knew I wasn't playing.
Did you have any personal protection on you?
At that point, no, because I just come from the gym, but I did have this shirt on.
I am comfortable with violence.
Well, there you go.
Set the tone real early.
Yep. So yeah, they knew I wasn't. They knew I wasn't playing. Between the 5 of them, they weren't 100 pounds. So but I'm sure they had guns. But I would have when I came back to get my or when I came back to pick up my equipment. Yes, we were armed, but on the way there, I wasn't, just because I was just leaving the gym and I wasn't even thinking about going. It was just one of those spur of the moment. Probably not the brightest thing I've ever done.
They're not used to doing someone with balls in the spine, though. That's the difference. You intimidated the shit out of them.
The news said, when they did my interview the other day, they said, "Okay, we're really impressed with what you did, but let's put it out there that this is probably not the best idea," because they said, I did personal security and all this stuff, and I'm trained very well and all that. And they said, "We don't want the average Joe rolling into the projects demanding their shit back." So they said, you may want to tell people that's probably not the best route to go, but at least it worked out for you.
Yeah, John the accountant don't need to go in there and do that stuff.
Right. That's what they were worried about with this. When they put it out there, they're like, "Man, we don't want a bunch of junior detectives going and getting shot or beat up." So,
but the craziest part is how easy this case was solved. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just a little bit of legwork, a little bit of follow-up work, and voila, here it all is. It's all sitting right there for you.
The minimalist piece of effort is all. If they would put that into some of these cases, and put it out there. The news was really cool, man. When I reached out to them, they were snappy to get back to me, and they wanted to get it on there, and they did follow-ups, and they've been really good about it. So if people use social media, like, instead of just to cry about the politics or whatever,
right,
and actually use it for some good, it actually works, because it worked this time anyway.
Yeah, it gets get your story out in front of a bunch of people for free.
We had 100,000 views in 24 hours.
Wow.
And they're struggling for any kind of views for the mainstream media for news. Nobody watches the news no more. So that they need to have people watch it, and that's a good thing. And what you did was very brave, probably really stupid, but by God, I'd have done the same shit. We need more people to be that way. But these people, they do that because people don't stand up for themselves no more. And the law.
Society now is so soft.
Yeah,
it is. It's unbelievable.
And the law protects the criminal more than it does the victim. So damn glad you got your shit back. A very interesting story, and I appreciate you coming on here and telling your story. And I hope that this will make other people start paying attention more and maybe do a little bit of detective work on their own and help themselves out a little bit.
Yeah, don't just rely on the police to do the job, because if you do, you ain't getting it, man. You've got to roll up your sleeves a little bit.
I mean, and how
For
long
sure.
would insurance have taken to get you your check?
6 months.
Yeah, we still ain't even got a adjuster to call back. I mean, I would have been sitting here with no equipment. You know, I ain't got 80 grand just to pull out of my pocket right now and go down.
Right.
You know, it's like, yeah, we would have been down for at least a month, I'll bet.
And then you lose your crew because they got to feed their family at the end of the day.
Exactly. I've already lost 2 guys that went. 2 of the guys I'd hired over this 2 weeks of being down, they've already had to move on.
Yeah.
You know that, and that'll blame them.
No, not at
You know,
all. You got to feed your family.
Trickle down.
I can survive for a few weeks or months or whatever, but not everyone else can.
No,
You know,
it's bad.
But-
That's what they don't think about when they steal that shit, or they don't care. But that's what people.
don't care.
That's what everybody on the outside doesn't realize, that you steal something.
Yeah.
That, you know, whether it's someone's business stuff or their personal stuff, someone worked hard for that shit, and you want to buy. And then you shoot some bitch and you kill them for stealing your shit. Then they want to, vilify you. Well, no, you shouldn't be stealing shit.
I'm honestly surprised they hadn't got you for like harassment or something. You know, some bullshit
I've
type
been waiting.
thing.
I've been waiting for. That's like the last part when I went and got my stuff by myself, and I bluffed them a little bit and this and that. I was like, man, that'll probably come back to bite me in the ass. But
Right.
shit.
I'm betting you it don't on this
Nah.
deal.
No, but I just know, like, you hear so many horror
Yeah.
stories. Like, now they're gonna, bark up your tree because you were a little rough in the way that you talk to these poor individuals or some shit like that. You know.
Yep. But it is what it is, man. They're lucky it went that way because, like you said, it could have went a lot different. Even when we were in that house, and everybody was armed with a lot of guns, and we were getting our shit back. So
Well,
We're here for one thing.
that's a good neighbor that called you and let you know about
Yeah.
that. And
yes, it was.
and we need more. And I hope some other people got their equipment back.
Yeah.
But somebody somewhere is fencing all that shit and selling all them stolen goods. And I'll bet you there's someone on up the chain right now that's a nervous son of a bitch that his name's going to get brought up.
Well, they said the cops talked to one guy that was out there. They found him hiding in the outhouse, and he said that this Jesus or Jose or whatever
Jesus.
Jesus, they said he brings the stuff over, and then white people come by and pick it up. So they steal the construction equipment and then sell it cheap to assholes that'll buy it.
Right.
And they know when they're buying stolen shit, and they're as bad of the problem as the ones stealing it.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them will get rung up on this.
If you're getting a $10,000 trailer for $1,000, you might be part of the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
100%.
All right. We appreciate you being on here, man. Thank you for telling us your story. Have a great day. God bless you and your family, and be safe, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
There.
I tell
Got
you what's sad is that goes on everywhere. You know, in a small town like we were, your cops have more time. They can work right on stuff.
They're hoping for something like this
Yes.
to happen in a small town.
Them big city guys, and I feel sorry for them 2 detectives that are working cars and trailers. They probably got their plate full and working 60 hours a week, and they don't have no help. And the homicide detectives are the same way. But nobody wants to be a police officer because all the bullshit that goes with it anymore, and it's a shame. You know?
Nobody wants to do that.
No. So hopefully some of that will change. So anyways, thank y'all for listening to us. God
Don't be
bless
stealing shit.
Yep. If you steal shit and that guy comes to your house, I'd be giving man too, because I'd be a nervous wreck too. I'm sure they thought he was a narc cop or a motorcycle gang guy. And they're like, oh, don't fuck with him.
Ed is comfortable with violence.
Where the fuck's Jesus?
Yeah. Get him
It's
down
his
here.
problem, not ours. Sir, we give you everything you want. Would you like some other shit we stole out of other trailers? We'll take care of you.
Once again, I'm cleaning up who's Jesus' shit.
All right. Peace. God bless. Thank y'all.
Watch for deer. And go check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Pacific College. Use our promo code BHP25. Dive Bomb Industries, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Boss Shot Shells, Stanfield Outfitters, MLR Graphics, Mossberg, Mitch Hall Chevrolet, and Mallard Bay.